thought it might be nice to make an escort card display to go along with the centerpiece in reception class. One that was a little bit lower and added some interest down here low where the place cards would sit. Wanted to keep the ingredients pretty simple, so again, just 3 ingredients. We're using mock orange, snowball viburnum, and then I've chosen poppies as our focal flower. A lot of the, as we've been talking through all of the different centerpieces and how to make substitutions and identifying that the flower is round and wide and has a little bit of yellow in the center. I'd also add that the poppy is light. But if we needed to switch this out, maybe they didn't like, you know, this light area, or maybe poppies aren't available, these are some other options that you could use. Heavier than the poppy, higher petal count. But if you look at this beautiful peony, it's a similar size, similar color, even the petal shapes are similar. And if you peek your nose down in there, there's a little touch of yellow in the center there. So you still have that touch of yellow pulling through. The mock orange has this beautiful little yellow centers. And so when you have something like that that has a pretty strong or colorful center, it's good to keep the colors of all of those centers similar if they're going to be seen side by side. And then you could also do a garden rose, something similar to this. If you peek your nose deep down in here, you'll see that there's yellow inside those petals too. So just knowing which varieties of peonies, I think this is Duchess Demures, but peony that's white, like the Festiva Maxima peony, it has the touch of fuchsia in the middle. So being familiar with, from peony to peony and rose to rose, which ones have those slightly yellow tones in them, which ones have slightly pink or peach, those are all great things to pay attention to and to be aware of whenever you're considering your colors. We're going to create the shape of the arrangement using the mock orange. This is going to be, the snowball viburnum is going to really fill, it's going to be a pretty full arrangement. And then these poppies are our last little focal point / area gesture that will guide us back. Rather than starting with the mock orange on this piece, I'm going to start with the snowball viburnum because the container that we're working in here is pretty shallow. I have a liner in that comes to about here. This is actually a flower pot that I picked up. I liked the ceramics, and when it comes to flower pots and things that are heavy and large like this, it's tough to find affordable pricing and shipping. So I like to pick these up at TJ Maxx or Target, places like that I go on a, you know, semi-regular basis where you can just keep your eyes peeled for something that you might be able to use. And I'm going to go the whole way around the base of this and just fill in this bottom area. So now whenever I add some bigger things in, I've already got this support grid lined up for myself. That's helpful, so when those taller mock orange branches go in, there's a little bit more in here and they stick where I put them. Now, if I was using Oasis as my mechanics in this arrangement, or I had a flower frog in here, I wouldn't worry about this step as much. But you could still do this, you know, you could still do it in the same order, same steps with those mechanics as well. Now I'm going to back up, just going to come in a little bit. We're going to make a smaller grid. And some of these larger pieces we'll save as we build up and out. It's kind of like whenever I baked cakes and we were cutting the layers of the cakes. If we had a circle cake, you would make a little circle, you would make you'd go in 2 inches and you'd make a circle, and you can go in another 2 inches and you'd make a circle, and then you'd start slicing those circles. So that's a similar pattern to what we're doing. We're making our circle on the outside, then we're coming in, making a circle closer in, these gnarly little pieces can just get snipped out. This is one of those plants that you get a lot of these old growth pieces on. Deutzia is the same way, but both so pretty locally this time of year. I'm wanting this arrangement to feel abundant and just to feel easy. Like we just went out to the garden and picked some flowers. This is a good one to go low. Switch him in there. I don't like that piece. One more time. We'll go in even closer to center. Now, if we wanted to go just a little bit in one direction, to the right or to the left, now's where you can use those tall pieces to change your shape up a little bit. And I'm gonna look around the rim of my container now. Before I was focused more on getting the grid lined up, so now I'm going to go back through and clean up the base around the arrangement. And I'm going to do that. Also, I'm going to start incorporating some of this mock orange. I have smaller pieces cut. And these will be great to go low in the arrangement around the base as well. So that's our goal right now. Checking the container rim. Making sure our shape there is nice and how we'd like to see it. So in this arrangement, it's a little bit less about the ingredients and finding the perfect home for each individual ingredient. In this arrangement, I'm working more so to create an overall shape where the flowers, in a way, lose their individual identity and become a part of this greater shape. If you're really wanting to make individual flowers pop, creating space and negative space within the arrangements is a helpful way to do that. So that negative space allows for room for that individual flower to be shown and shine. And these, when we get our taller pieces of mock orange, we're going to clean up those. So let's head there next, and then we can always come back and fill in with some more viburnum. Taking a look at the natural shape of the flower and deciding where to place it based on that. Oh, this smells so amazing. Mock orange is such a great smell for spring. And these little viburnum petals are fun to sprinkle around the base. It's one of my favorite petals to shake and toss. Little flower girl baskets. Everybody thinks of rose petals, but you can use hydrangea and just about anything. So at this point, there's not a real rhyme or reason as to my placement. I don't have a specific pattern that I'm working off of, but my goal, whenever each piece that I'm putting in, my goal is to get to that shape, to get to that lush, filled in look. Just flowers dripping down on the table. That's what I'm working to create. This is a great piece to go right in here and frame some poppies. See how that comes out in the 4 points. You can work the pieces around and tangle them together if they aren't laying just the way that you need them to. Sometimes they need just a little bit of help to look their very best. This last piece, I think I'd really like to just spill out and down onto the table. Let me clear this out a second. Okay, let's add some poppies in. I've left a little bit of room right here to incorporate those. These poppies are something I'd probably wait to put in until I got to the venue. They're just fragile. So then they can get babysat a little bit on the way there. Making a little bit of an implied line, but I think I just am naturally always doing that, but okay with just dispersing it evenly, just kind of throughout the arrangement with this one. See how it's a little bit heavy down here and not as much over here? I like that they spill out onto the table, but I don't want it to feel quite that heavy. Okay, fantastic. Again, we've got a lot of heaviness down in this area. So just creating this little gap here where we have a group here and a group back here, rather than, you know, it taking up this space too. So just clipping that out, giving some more definition. And I think we're done. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in again soon.